May God's peace and blessings be upon us all. The time has come for the people of God to speak to the people of God. God's holy word is a biblical perspective on the times and the events of today. And today's topic, Gavin, Newscum, and Ghana Bash. Miss Ghana Bass, California is on fire. And so, as we've seen in the news, as what is going on around the world, um, the California wildfires are here again. It is that time of year. Um, every year, California has the wildfires. Every year since I've been a child, California has had the wildfires. And now, as I sit in Atlanta, where it is increasingly cold and it's snowing, and I know my parents live in South Georgia and it's snowing down there, things that have never happened before, as far as it's snowing so far south. Um, Climate change is a real thing. And yet, the regime that we currently have in power in the United States of America and many people around the world, especially in our beloved country here, they don't believe in climate change. And yet, they have not noticed that the polar ice caps are melting, that the summertime heat is getting hotter than it's ever been, that the wintertime cold is getting colder than it has ever been. And yet, we still deny and try to act as though climate change does not exist. We have a government that does not believe in climate change at this point in time because I'm sure that they find a way for them to save money by not spending money on those EPA and ozone regulation laws. And so, where do we have, as we report on the California wildfires, who is to blame here? According to Donald Trump, who has named Gavin Newscum, kind of a catchy name. I don't have a pick either way. I mean, I don't particularly. Number one, I don't live in California. Number two, I'm not particularly fond of Gavin Newsom or fond of Donald Trump. I don't care which one of them wins. I kind of like to see the head bumping between the two of them because sometimes it gets kind of funny. You know, you get a little humor out of it. So it is quite entertaining. But as for the people that are living in California, let us also make sure that we send our hopes, our best wishes, and our prayers to all of those people who are in California, to all of those who have lost loved ones, to all of those who have lost property, to all of those who have lost homes, to all of those who are upside down, not knowing which way they are going to turn tomorrow because of these wildfires, and to all of those who are frightened and afraid, not knowing whether or not the wildfires are heading their way or whether or not they are going to damage some of the property that they have. But as we turn around and look, let's talk about the things that are occurring in California. We have a situation and a scenario where it's being reported that the hydrants have no water in them. Why is that? That's mismanagement. That is, of course, going to fall on the government. We have another report where they are complaining about the reservoirs, saying that one of the reservoirs is not full or is not functional, the one that is by the Palisades, and yet Gavin Newsom says that they're all full. So that is a debate for whoever does the investigation inside of California once these wildfires are put out and once these things have been calmed down and cooled down. I'm sure that they will go back and do an investigation to find out who is telling the truth and who is telling the untruth. And above all, it still falls upon leadership because they have a mayor there whose last name is Bass, Bass, and so I'll call her Mrs. Ghana Bass. And while her city is on fire, she is over in Ghana hanging out at the presidential inauguration. Or maybe she's over there hanging out with, my number one Afri-Pan scammer. Maybe she's over there hanging out with Umar trying to fleece some of the Africans for a little money. That's neither here nor there. But she is avoiding her responsibility of running her city because while her city is on fire, she is in the safety of Ghana at a presidential inauguration, which is just like the old scenario that we had with old Cancun Cruz out of Texas. While Texas was going through its situation, he was hanging out in Cancun running away from the situation. And so it kind of reminds you of Cancun Cruz. So we have Miss Ghana Bass, and now we have Mr. Cancun, and of course, Mr. Ted Cancun Cruz. And so in California, we have so many, different facets that go into that state. Even though the state is majority liberals, from what I understand, you also have the Tea Party of California there, who is led by none other than Mr. JLP, Jesse Lee Peterson, who runs Bond, who is destroying families daily by misguiding men. But he leads the California Tea Party. And so he is, I'm sure, destroying the rest of the morality in California as the city burns. And what do we focus on as this city burns, this state burns? What do we focus on as the California fires rage on? Well, I've been watching the news, and the things that I have been seeing on the news is that we seem to focus on the celebrities who are losing their homes. Are you kidding me? We seem to focus on the NFL stars who are losing their homes. Are you kidding me? We seem to focus on the NBA stars who are losing their homes. Are you kidding me? We seem to focus on the baseball stars, the actors, and all of the rich people who are losing their homes. Are you kidding me? These people with multiple homes and plenty of capital, plenty of cash, they are not concerned about these homes because they have homes in other places. They could fly off and save themselves. They can start over somewhere else. Their property in California that they lost is not an issue. It's a write off for them because I'm sure they have adequate insurance or funds to cover it. So what's going on in California does not affect the rich and the wealthy. But yet those are the people that the news and everyone is so focused on. And I say to myself, why are we feeling so sorry for them? When we look right past the fact that there are a lot of middle class people in these areas that are burning, there are a lot of poor people in these areas that are burning. There are a lot of lower class people on the pay scale in these areas that are burning. And yet, we don't focus on them. Because, above all, with California getting so much attention, California being so politicized, everybody worldwide wants to save California. And I say to you, stay tuned because I will have a mic drop moment coming up. Because it is nothing wrong with us wanting to save California. It is nothing wrong with us being concerned with the celebrities and the rich people losing all of their things. I simply say to us, the people that are less fortunate, the people that are not rich, the people that are not famous, they also deserve some concern because when they lose their house, when they lose their livelihood, when they lose their jobs, they end up being homeless, distraught, destitute, and totally destroyed because they have no way or no means to recover. And yet we don't focus on that. We focus on the TV star that just lost a house that they have five more all over the country. So we're not focusing on the correct thing from my point of view. Maybe your point of view is different. And so, just in case your point of view is different, here comes your mic drop moment because I have a few questions that I would like to ask. Where was this concern for New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina? Where was this concern for Puerto Rico after that big storm hit the island? And above all, where was this concern for Gaza when you flattened the entire strip? Ever, ever, ever. Where was that concern? Tell me that. Let us make America righteous, and let us make the world righteous. God's holy word. Please like, share, and subscribe, because if you share the no, then the show will grow. And if you share the no, then the word will go. Let us make America righteous. As always, all super chats, all your subscriptions, and all your sponsorships go to furthering the gospel. And I say to you before I leave, as always, allow me to give you another verse for another day on this earth. Verse for today will be coming from Hosea chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4. Where we discuss a land, which is Israel here, where we discuss a land or a world that has forgotten about God, where we look to a land or a world that has turned to themselves and to their own self-interest and their own self-pleasurings and their own self-enjoyment and forgotten about God. And do you know what happened to that land? That land was destroyed. And so I say to us, not just for California, I say to us for the rest of the world, I say to us for the rest of America, I say to us on our mission to make America righteous, on our mission to make the world righteous, I say to us, have we forgotten about God? Hosea chapter 4 at verse 1 says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken. And so I say to us all that you must remember, sin has a payday. There will be a payment for sin. Today is California. Tomorrow it could be anywhere. Please like, share, and subscribe. God's holy word. May God bless you and keep you.